So in this video I'm going to take you quickly how you can actually get started with the Nimble API. This is my dashboard and you can see that I've already done some requests. I have 4 requests already done, and this is the data that has actually been transferred so far. And today quickly I'm going to show you how you can actually use this particularly, and this is going to be a series of videos and such that you can actually keep them short, concise and educative. So let me get to the documentation so that you can get started. So I already have an article about the overview or what entails under the Nimble API, and then I will leave that in the link. I'll leave the link in the description. Then I also have an introductory video about Nimble generally, so I'll also leave that in the description for you to actually get to learn more about Nimble. But what is basically under Nimble, that just these 4 APIs that you find under Nimble. It's the Nimble API. You find there the web API, the SERP or SAP API, places, and e-commerce API. So basically for your different use cases and scenarios. So in this video I'm going to quickly show you how you can get started with authentication, then perform your first real time URL request. That's basically it. This is basically an introduction. Nimble API, authentication, real-time URL request. So yeah, so let's get into it. So as I mentioned earlier in my video, please have an account created with Nimble. Then you are good to go, because mostly authentication relies around that. So you use your username and password. You'll have to get them so that you can move to the next part. So also I hope you do have Python installed already, so that you can get started quickly, because I'm going to be using Python as a language of choice in this tutorial series. So let's head straight into authentication. So as you can see, Nimble API basic access. This is basic access. There are different types of access authentications, and the basic access authentication, they're saying they use a base64 encoded credential string. So basically you get your credentials and then encode them using base64. So yeah, that's it basically. So I will just copy this for now. I'll copy this. I already have my VS Code, sorry. I already have my VS Code open, so I'll just paste this here. So but to use this, of course we'll have to have done some import. Let me say import base64. In Python, base64 is a core library. It actually comes pre-installed, don't have to do any pip. So that's it. So I will just call this, maybe I will call this credential. Let me just call it some other descriptive name so that we can actually, let me call this encoded bytes. Let me call this encoded bytes. I just want to create a variable here so that you can move chap. So in order to encode in base64, I will have to call the function itself base64. Then I will have to use b64 encode, the real function now under that class. So it's basically b64 encode a username and password. So basically this is going to be a string. So I'll come here and I create another variable. I will call this auth. This is going to be the variable that we'll use for authentication. So basically this is going to be your username and password. You use your username and password to Nimble API or Nimble platform. So I'm going to write main here so that this works, but I'm going to change immediately after the video so it won't work for you. So let me do my username is Ronnie.Athaire at, let's change this, at octochat.com. so you need a colon in between here, the username, actually it's this, you need a colon in between the username or your email and the password for this to work using base 64. So here I'm going to put my password. My password is afro at Nimble 23. So this is my password to log in to the Nimble platform. As I said, I'm changing this straight away, so you won't have access to this. So now instead of passing the other one, I can just pass auth here. Then I want to be able to change this into UTF-8, so that we know that we're actually using the I think small letters. So let me just change this, some string formatting here. So you need to tell what exactly you're working with, and this is basically UTF-8. So I think that's it. Then we are now, what you're going to do, because this is now our bytes, we want to convert the bytes into a string basically. So if you wanted, you could actually print out this and see what I'm talking about. So I'll come, I run the file. So this is a byte stream, as you can see, but you want to change this byte stream into a string. You could actually just remove this and then it becomes your string, but I'm going to do it programmatically. So oops. So what I'm going to do, I will just have to create another variable and say, and call it maybe Nimble auth. So here I can just say Nimble auth. Then here now we encode. So here we're going to get these bytes that we've actually encoded. The encoded bytes, actually we decode them. It's not encoding, we decode them into string format. So to do this, you just have to call it encoded bytes. This is encoded bytes dot decode UTF, the same UTF-8. You want to specify this so that you avoid anomalies that might happen. So I'm going to now call to be able to print this and see if we are good to go. So make sure your password is the correct password, and authentication, which shall test that. So if I go back and run, we have now a string. Perfect. So since we have a string, now we're going to do our first try of actually getting to do a real-time access. So to do this, let's continue with what they're telling us. So here, as you can see, they're telling you that you can actually copy this. Let me copy this, add the parameters. Or we could actually go to the second one. I think they're the same. Yes, they're the same. So after that, we're going to make our API request to this endpoint, and then we are good to go. So if I come and copy this, this is what I want. Take it back here. So yeah, so I'm going to test with my blog website. So I'm just going to put my real domain here, which is going to be octachat.com. URL here is the only mandatory parameter you have to pass, because if you go back, you can see here is the only required parameter that must be sent with each request. So it could have a lot of other things. For example, let's say this is the state of the response. It could be having a lot of other parameters in here, but they are optional, but this is the real deal that you actually need to put or pass in. So let's see how we can actually let's see if we can actually fetch our data. So we need to have a response, but before we get a response, I usually want to actually find out the status. That's basically the status code. So if you have this response, maybe we could get the status code first. So what I usually want to test is the status code. So I could just copy this. Maybe let me just say, let me just create a print statement here and say, I'm going to call this, I'm going to say Nimble status. Let me just call it Nimble status. Nimble status. Then I'm going to do a response. They're saying the status code. What is it? Status. It is a success. Status code should be at 200, of course. Okay, let's see if we can have it. Response dot status code. I believe it's this. So now I'm going to print this first. What I can do, I can actually put it after this, because Python doesn't work like that. Let's see, yes, I can put it under here. So let's try running this again and we'll see. If we shall get a status code. We have a 401. So what does this mean? 401 is basically on my side. It means either it's bad credentials that I'm actually using here. So I need to be sure of my password here. So I'm going to change my password here, then we come back, I'll be able to come back and rerun this. So let me do that shortly. So this is the password. I realized I had missed out an M, so it's at Nimble way 23. So make sure that you have actually the right password here. So I'm going to come and run this. We still have a 401. There's something still not right on my end, so I have to come back again and see what exactly it is. So as you can see, this is my password at Afro Nimble way 23, and it's the same password here. Let me just copy it. let me see if I have the right username. Bernie.@octachat. Is it this? Let me just copy this also. So I'm going to try another run and see if we can get up to 0. We still have 401, so it means there's something not right. So to fix this, what I'm going to do, let me first continue and see. Let me print out the real response. Let me first print out the real response and see the error. Response 401. Okay, it's not helping. I need to print out the real JSON data. It's actually being rendered here so that we can get to know what exactly is actually coming through. So to do that, what I can do, I can just say response.json. Invalid basic auth. So I have an invalid basic authentication. So let's see what exactly that means. So if I come here and say Nimble auth, oh yeah, I see the error. So we actually need to pass this. We need to pass it here under the credential string. It's what we shall bring here and paste it here. So what I need to put here is basically an F string, and this braces basically since I'm passing what? I'm passing a variable inside here. Sorry, I think this should be the issue. Yeah, because I just copied this and pasted it. So let's try running again. Should be good to go. Wow, we actually have our data coming through. So it actually didn't even bring the error, it just brought the data. So this is a success. It means now you can actually continue and basically do some web scraping, because it's actually rendering the HTML files. And that's it for this video basically. So the issue was actually here on authentication, and we've done the debugging together to figure this out. So basically the headers carry the authentication, data is for the payload. This is the real deal. You have to put whether this is mandatory, it's a must to have this. Then you actually do perform your scraping. So that's it for this video. See you in the next video.